Are you looking for an attractive native evergreen tree that is deer, drought, poor soil, and salt tolerant, while also being an attractive tree for the butterflies, moths, birds, small mammals, and pollinators? If so, eastern red cedar may be the tree for you. Stay tuned to find out. Hey guys, can you do me a quick favor, pretty please? Could you hit the like button and the subscribe button under this video? It really helps me know which videos resonate with you guys. Now let's get back to the show. Hello everyone, welcome back to A Wild Approach. My name is Macy, and in today's video we will be discussing eastern red cedar. I have a series on this channel that is all about native plant profiles. So after you watch this video, don't forget to check out the full playlist for more native plants. Eastern red cedar, aka Juniperus virginiana, is an evergreen tree. It has the best drought resistance of any conifer native to the eastern United States. Here is the native range of eastern red cedar in green, according to bonap.org. Eastern red cedar can get 30 to 40 feet tall and 10 to 20 feet wide. This is a tree that has a lot of natural variation of size and form in the wild. If you go to natural areas, you may notice that this tree is sometimes more like a shrub, sometimes a small tree, other times it's a huge tree. Sometimes it's more bushy and wide on the bottom, while other specimens of this tree may be more narrow. Keeping that in mind is important because you may not know what your specific tree will eventually grow to look like. What you'll know for sure, though, if you plant this tree, is that it is an evergreen conifer and it provides shelter and cover for birds and other animals. It also provides food for wildlife and is a host plant to the juniper hairstreak and the imperial moth. Do you need a short, quick guide to get started in wildlife gardening? Well, turns out I've got just the thing. I just came out with a new free ebook just for you, and it's called A Wild Approach to Gardening 101, and it's available on my website today at macylou.com/shop. It's free, so go check it out. What do you have to lose? It is sometimes grown for use as Christmas trees. There are also several cultivars available of this tree if you're nervous about it getting too tall for your garden. One example is the gray owl eastern red cedar. These don't get as tall, but they get very wide and spread out into graceful branches. It's best to pick an area where the width of the plant won't be an issue because pruning back this cultivar may take away from its beauty. It's great for deep hedgerows under power lines, however, because even though it gets wide, it won't get nearly tall enough to affect your power lines. The straight species, however, would be better to plant away from power lines. Trust me, you don't want to have the tree company or utility company to have to come out and prune your eastern red cedar away from the power lines. Trees that are tall and have to be trimmed because they're growing into power lines never look as beautiful as trees that are the proper distance away from power lines or ones that are small enough to grow underneath power lines. There are also other cultivars of eastern red cedar that are more skinny and tall, which are really great for extremely tight property lines, like you might find in your side garden. Remember though, they love full sun. They may not do well if your side garden is too shady. Eastern red cedar prefers full sun, but has some slight shade tolerance when it's still a young sapling. The leaves on this tree are more spiky and needle-like when young, but become more scale-like in maturity. When these trees are young, they can really poke you with their sharp needle-like leaves. Ouch! That's what I've said many times when accidentally brushing up against young saplings of this plant when doing garden work. These trees can handle poor and dry soil very, very well. Sometimes they spread a little too well for some gardeners in dry settings. It can also handle some average moisture but doesn't like consistently wet soil. This is a full sun-loving plant. It grows best and fullest when it gets full 6+ hours of sun all the way around it. When it grows at the edge of a thicket or forest, you'll notice one half of the tree is more full and lush than the half that is in the shade. You can also see this in my own garden, where I have planted one as a part of a hedgerow I created. The side which is up against other shrubs and trees is more bare, while the sunnier side is lush and thick. This can be a fun design element in the garden if you're creative with it. This tree is excellent for screening and privacy, especially if you have lots of space for it to get its full width and thickness. For my own hedge garden, I'm planning to trim the cedar to keep it at a certain size, as I don't want to have to limb that one up in the future. I also have several eastern red cedars in my backyard, and most of them are growing in a very dry area up behind a retaining wall, competing with the roots of a very tall silver maple tree. These little eastern red cedars are still very young, but I'm excited to see if they can grow lush on the southern facing side of their forms. They are up against the privacy fence, and if they grow in well, they will add a beautiful green screen to partially obscure the fence someday. I hope. Here's what eastern red cedar looks like when it is really, really young and small. It has those very prickly needle-like leaves I told you about already, and they can really stab you, so be cautious. Don't confuse them with baby pine trees, shown here. This is a pine sapling, and you can really tell the difference when I show them side by side. Both are evergreen, but one is a pine and one is a juniper. Look at these two side by side. You can really tell the difference if you look close enough. The bark on smaller young trees of eastern red cedar looks different from the bark on older eastern red cedar trees. In this footage, you can see the bark of the younger trees, which in this video have about pencil-sized trunks. The bark is a pleasant reddish color, and it almost has a diamond pattern to it. The bark of medium-sized trees or shrub-sized trees starts really peeling up in strips. Here's footage of that size tree. And here's footage of a very, very large eastern red cedar tree. I have no idea how old this one could be. They grow at a medium to fast rate, depending on site location. You can see the exfoliating bark on this majestically huge tree. Female plants produce silvery blue colored berries that birds and other wildlife enjoy very much. Both the pine and the juniper, although native to the eastern United States, would be wonderful native plant options for Japanese-inspired gardens. Think about it. We could still get a beautiful Japanese-inspired garden created with some native pines, eastern red cedars, and native moss, too. Sounds gorgeous, right? That plus our native trees provide a lot more wildlife value than non-native trees do overall. Plus, eastern red cedars can be trained into bonsai if grown the proper way and following proper bonsai techniques. Eastern red cedar supports over 28 species of butterflies and moths in my area. When you add that to the cover, shelter, and food for birds that it provides, it's no wonder why this tree is so valuable in a wildlife habitat. Here are some negatives about this tree, though. Some native habitat managers find it troublesome when they're restoring large areas of land because it can be weedy in some areas, especially areas where these folks are trying to restore grassland habitat. If too many of these trees, or any other trees really, pop up in a grassland habitat, eventually the trees will shade out the grasses and native flowers that grow there. So if you're trying to grow a strictly grassland or prairie garden through and through and you don't want succession to happen, you'll need to weed out the trees in those areas. Consider offering the trees you dig up to friends and family to plant in their own gardens, giving them the plants the height, light, and soil information. Or maybe use them as Christmas trees. Remember, practice safety with your real indoor Christmas trees. Keep them watered according to the instructions given by Christmas tree pros. Don't let them dry out, and make sure to turn off and unplug the lights when you go to bed. Practice all the safety precautions you can think of. What do you think about eastern red cedar? Leave me a comment down below and let me know. I personally love eastern red cedar, but I also understand why they can be a pain to some people. They can pop up in quite a lot of places, and if there are places you don't want them to grow, it can be a pain if there are too many of them popping up. And again, when they're young, they're really pokey and spiky, almost as much as something like a blackberry bush, something with thorns. So I can see the negatives, but I also really see a lot of positives with this tree. I love this native tree, and I really enjoy having this in my garden. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to check out that playlist of other native plants that you might want to check out. Remember, this playlist is going to grow over time. I am always going to be adding more and more plants to this playlist every single year, so don't forget to check it out, maybe save it into your playlist, and let me know what you think of this collection of native plants. And I'll see you in the next video. Have a great holiday season, guys. Bye. Brand new items are now available in the shop. Thanks so much to viewers like you for supporting the channel. To support the channel, like the video, comment, and subscribe. You can also support my work by buying art from me at macylou.com. Thanks for watching!